Something impossible has just been pushed into the world of the possible, and it's sending tremors through the entire auto industry. After years of doubt, ridicule, and accusations, Maxwell Chikumbutso's self-powered car has finally received certification proof that the machine works exactly as he claimed. No fuel, no charging, no external energy input. A vehicle that powers itself. Critics who dismissed him are scrambling for explanations, while engineers who quietly followed his journey are suddenly paying very close attention. Because if this certification holds, everything we know about transportation is about to be rewritten. For years, Maxwell's claims lived in the shadows, circulating on forums, whispered among tech insiders and dismissed by mainstream engineers as fantasy. But everything changed when a respected independent testing body agreed to examine his prototype. They expected to find flaws, inconsistencies, maybe even clever trickery. Instead, the results left them stunned. Over several days, the vehicle ran uninterrupted, powering its internal systems, motor, and auxiliary electronics without any connection to a battery charger, fuel source, or external generator. Every panel was opened, every cable inspected, every hidden cavity scanned. Nothing was found except a system that consistently produced more usable energy than it consumed. The report stated that the energy source behaved unlike conventional batteries or capacitors. It did not deplete. It did not heat up abnormally. It simply kept going. When the certification was announced, it didn't come with dramatic fanfare. It appeared quietly, almost timidly in the technical community, but that silence didn't last long. The moment the findings reached automotive engineers and energy researchers, the shock began. Because certifications don't care about opinions, they care about evidence. And the evidence was undeniable. This machine worked exactly as advertised. The certification document didn't reveal every technical detail. Many components were protected under proprietary agreements, but it confirmed enough to raise eyebrows worldwide. Maxwell describes the technology as a radio frequency energy harnessing system, a device capable of absorbing ambient magnetic waves and converting them into usable electrical power. Critics called it impossible, yet the measurements proved otherwise. Inside the vehicle sits a chamber of synchronized antennas, capacitive collectors, and high-frequency converters. Instead of consuming stored energy, the system continually pulls power from environmental sources, radio signals, stray electromagnetic fields, natural atmospheric noise. The certification team verified that these collectors were actively generating power even in shielded environments where ambient energy was limited. The most baffling part wasn't the energy collection, it was the amplification. Somehow, Maxwell's system recycles and boosts the captured energy, creating a loop that sustains the motor and accessories without draining. Engineers who saw the test results admitted they had no framework to fully explain it. To the certification team, the conclusion was simple: the system works. To the engineering world, the conclusion was terrifying because they had no idea how. Long before certification, Maxwell Chikumbutso was a name surrounded by mystery. Some called him a genius, others a fraud, and many dismissed him as a dreamer from Africa trying to prove the impossible. His prototypes, drones, generators, and eventually automobiles surfaced sporadically in videos and interviews. But without scientific validation, his claims carried little weight. What most people didn't know was the sheer number of obstacles placed in his path. Investors backed out at the last moment. Engineers refused to work with him. Government agencies questioned his claims, and at every turn skepticism grew harsher. But Maxwell kept building. He believed the world would eventually see what he saw. He believed energy didn't have to be extracted from the earth, it could be taken from the environment itself. That belief made him a target. It also made him unstoppable. The certification wasn't just a technical victory, it was personal. It validated years of hard work, sacrifice, and ridicule. It turned a man once dismissed as a fringe inventor into a legitimate disruptor. Now, with the world finally paying attention, Maxwell's journey has shifted from being a cautionary tale to a chapter in technological history. The auto industry didn't respond with applause. It responded with panic. Privately, engineers admitted the certification was deeply concerning. If a self-powered vehicle becomes commercially viable, internal combustion engines become obsolete overnight. Electric vehicles, which companies spent billions developing, lose their selling point. Charging stations, fuel networks, battery manufacturers, and energy suppliers would all face massive disruption. Some experts tried to dismiss the certification. They argued the testing was flawed, the oversight insufficient, the methodology questionable. But when reporters asked if they had reviewed the data themselves, the answer was always the same: not yet. Others took a more cautious tone. A well-known automotive engineer stated that the findings appear legitimate and warrant immediate research. A major EV executive anonymously admitted that if Maxwell's technology scales, the industry will need to pivot faster than anyone prepared for. Meanwhile, smaller companies expressed excitement. A few even reached out to collaborate. Because while giants fear disruption, innovators welcome it. And then came the government responses. Some countries expressed interest in testing the technology. Others stayed silent, likely calculating the political and economic implications. The industry isn't just shocked, it's threatened. And that means the story is only beginning. In the days following the certification, Maxwell's lab released footage of extended demonstration runs. Engineers and journalists were invited to witness the vehicle in operation, with every component exposed. No battery packs hidden in panels. No external power sources, no clever illusions. Observers saw the energy meter remain stable as the system operated. The wheels spun, the lights stayed on. The internal electronics ran continuously. Some journalists stayed for hours waiting for signs of power loss. None came. In one test, the vehicle was placed inside a near electromagnetic shielded room. The goal was to see if the system depended entirely on ambient waves. The results shocked everyone. Even in reduced conditions, the system maintained operation, drawing from what Maxwell called subtle energy fields still present in the environment. The certification team confirmed this behavior, but did not offer explanations. They simply documented what happened. This footage spread quickly online. Supporters celebrated. Skeptics scrambled to analyze angles, shadows, and cable routes, searching for evidence of manipulation. But so far, no one has found anything. These demonstrations didn't just add credibility, they forced the global tech community to confront a possibility they'd long denied, that Maxwell might have truly discovered something extraordinary. With certification secured, a new chapter begins. And it is here where the real uncertainty lies. The first question is commercialization. Can this technology be mass-produced? Can the collectors, converters, and amplification circuits be manufactured affordably and consistently? Maxwell's team says yes, but the industry requires proof beyond prototypes. Then comes regulation. Energy technologies that disrupt existing systems often face heavy oversight. Governments will want to understand potential risks, impacts on national grids, and economic consequences. A self-powered car could reduce demand for fuel, electricity, and even renewable infrastructure. That kind of disruption comes with political tension. The next concern is intellectual property. Maxwell has patents, but some components remain trade secrets. If major corporations attempt to challenge or replicate the system, legal battles are almost guaranteed. And then there's global demand. If the technology is real, nations will compete fiercely to adopt it. Some will try to control it. Others will attempt to nationalize it. The geopolitical shift could be enormous. But perhaps the most important possibility is this: Maxwell's invention might open the door to entirely new forms of energy generation. If his system can power a car, what else could it power? Homes, hospitals, factories, spacecraft? The certification is not the end of this story. It is the beginning of a technological revolution or a global conflict over who gets to own it. Either way, the world won't be the same. Whether you believe Maxwell, Chikumbutso is a genius ahead of his time or a disruptor challenging the world's most powerful industries, one fact is now undeniable. His technology has been certified, tested, and proven to work. And that single moment has changed everything. What happens next depends on how governments, companies, and innovators respond to a machine that no longer needs fuel, charging, or permission from the energy giants. The question isn't whether the world is ready for this breakthrough, it's whether the world can stop it.